The Detroit Lions just scared the rest of the NFL. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Detroit Lions news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. The Detroit Lions should sign $11 million linebacker to help replace Alex Anzelone. The Detroit Lions saw one of their key defensive players suffer a significant injury in Week 11 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars after linebacker Alex Anzelone left the game early. Following the 52-6 win over the Jags, head coach Dan Campbell revealed that Anzelone suffered a broken forearm, which will sideline him 6 to 8 weeks. Bear in mind, the Lions are also without Derek Barnes and Jalen Reeves-Rabin, both of whom are on the injured reserve, which leaves the team very short-handed. The good news is Anzelone should be back by the time playoffs roll around, as the Lions still have 7 games left and could earn themselves a first-round bye to give him extra time. But the Lions will have to fill the void in the meantime. They'll likely deploy Malcolm Rodriguez mostly in that spot alongside Jack Campbell. Detroit has Ben Neiman, Trevor Nowalski, and Ezekiel Turner on their roster also, but they aren't exactly great options. If the Lions are looking to add some more help, there is a solid option currently available in free agency in former Miami Dolphins linebacker David Long, who has waived by the team in the final year of a 2-year, $11 million contract he signed in 2023 free agency. Long has since cleared waivers, making him available to sign. After signing with the Dolphins, Long started all 17 games last season and 6 of 8 games in 2024 before he fell out of favor. Kyle Krabs of the Locked On Dolphins podcast explained what led to Long's departure. David Long's journey this year started with a tweaked hamstring in Seattle, a missed game versus Tennessee, and a lost starting job thanks to startling regression fitting the run, Krabs explained. After Tyrel Dodson claimed, "Not sure, I'm surprised after this was the end." With some players coming back, there was a shuffle that was inevitable, and Dodson plus Anthony Walker playing well made it difficult to see him playing again this year. Long was a 6th round pick of the Titans in 2019, and he developed into a starter during his stint in Nashville. With the West Virginia product particularly shining against the run and in the pass rush with his aggressive hair on fire style, Long doesn't offer much in coverage, but he boasts impressive speed that makes him a strong sideline-to-sideline defender and brings a ton of energy. Perhaps a change of scenery to a winning team with a great culture would do Long some good. He at least has the potential to be a better option than most of the guys currently on Detroit's roster, so general manager Brad Holmes should definitely take a flyer on him. Now, Jared Goff sets an impressive NFL history in Lions' dominant win over the Jaguars as well. Now, Jared Goff dominated in the Detroit Lions' 52-6 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday, and he posted a perfect passer rating of 158.3 for the second time in his career as he threw for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. Sunday wasn't the only time Goff threw for over 400 yards alongside a perfect passer rating. Back in 2018, he posted a perfect passer rating and threw 465 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. The list of NFL QBs who have posted multiple games with 400 plus passing yards and 158.3 passer rating: Goff. That's it. That's the whole list. His perfect passer rating day was only a second occurrence in Lions franchise history, and Goff is only the 6th QB in NFL history to attempt post multiple perfect games while throwing a minimum of 15 attempts. And if you thought that was only history Goff made today, it wasn't. He has 5 games with 80% or better completion percentage this season, and the most in NFL in NFL history. He also has 4 games this year with a passer rating of 140 or better, tied for the most in a season. Not too shabby of a day as Goff Lions dominate the Jags to advance 9-1. Detroit is cruising and controls their own destiny for NFC's top seed. The second story is that the Detroit Lions expect Jack Campbell to thrive in leadership role. Now, Lions are turning to linebacker Jack Campbell due to Alex Anzelone's injury. Now, the Detroit Lions expect linebacker Jack Campbell to thrive in the second half of the 2024 NFL season. Veteran linebacker, like we mentioned before, Alex Anzelone is sidelined for the next 6 to 8 weeks due to a broken forearm, and in the absence, Campbell will step in and be the leader of the linebackers unit. Malcolm Rodriguez, Trevor Nowalski, and also Ben Neiman also will continue to aid Aaron Glenn's defense. First of all, he's a guy who understands the game. He's a smart football player. He studies it. He works at it. He was that way when he walked in though. He's an instinctive player that really understands ball. Dan Campbell said when asked about the second-year linebacker's leadership role. So much of it is where Alex has this. He knows what AG's thinking. They've been together long enough to know where. We get into this situation. This is what you want. This is how we're doing. I think that's where Jack is. He's been right in his hip pocket and he watches that and learns and he listens. We were doing these things in spring and Alex wasn't even here yet. Alex came in a couple of weeks later and we were doing these situational scenarios where we're letting Goff calling it and also we're letting Jack call it on defense, Campbell continued. So this isn't the first time he had to take a little bit of a role like that and he's going to be fine as far as that. He'll step right into that and he'll embrace it and I think you'll see him thrive. After the Lions soundly defeated the Jaguars, the former Iowa Hawkeyes linebacker expressed nobody should freak out that Anzelone is out for the foreseeable future. He spoke to reporters and also shared his reaction to the dominant victory. The 24-year-old indicated the team was able to bounce back from adversity and executed well defensively. I feel like we're just after last week, just getting back to what we do and who we are. I feel like we did a good job and taking lessons we learned from last week because there's super important lessons in adversity and stuff like that and take them moving forward, said Campbell. I feel like we went out there and played 4 quarters of great 3-phase football and just got to keep going. With veteran Alex Anzelone being placed on the injured reserve list, the team decided to sign linebacker David Long to the practice squad. In just a matter of a few short weeks, the 28-year-old went from being in the starting rotation with the Miami Dolphins to finding his role changed to mostly being used on special teams and then eventually released, prior to his stint with the Dolphins. The talented linebacker spent 4 seasons with the Tennessee Titans as well. So, when it comes to the Detroit Lions, they definitely have a lot of things going for them. And when it comes to even further, things about Detroit Lions, they are looking into a great spot, especially, coming into this next week of football. So with week 12 of NFL almost here, we got our money on the Detroit Lions winning against the Indianapolis Colts. So I also love to bet on BetUS, guys. Definitely go check them out. They have the fastest payouts in the industry. And right now they have 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So we're going to be putting $100 on this. We actually can win $26 from this one. And with the way Detroit Lions have been playing, they've been going absolutely insane. So we're going to be placing this bet just like that and we are good to go. Put in 100. We have the potential winning of $26 against, Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts game. So, like I said, definitely go check out BetUS, 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits, up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So, definitely go check them out. I absolutely love them, and let's get back into the video. The third story is that the Lions defenders have blunt message for critics of Detroit embarrassing opponents. Now, the Detroit Lions improved their record to 9-1 on the season after dismantling the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in the process, they now have a share of the best record in the NFL after the Kansas City Chiefs loss. The Lions absolutely embarrassed the Jaguars on Sunday, winning 52-6, and it's just the latest example of Detroit blowing a team out and making it look bad, which has been a topic of conversation all season long. It really kicked off after the Lions destroyed the Dallas Cowboys in week 6, and not only did the Lions win handily, but they also trolled the Cowboys by lining Dan Skipper up at wide receiver, which drew the ire of former New Jersey governor and noted Cowboys fans Chris Christie. Even Green Bay Packers safety Xavier McKinney said something about the style in which the Lions have won in certain games this season ahead of Week 9 game against Detroit. In my opinion, I think they're trying to embarrass people, McKinney said, according to Kyle Mazzal of WFRV Local 5. This organization and players we have here, they don't take that lightly. When asked about the Lions' latest blowout victory, cornerback Carlton Davis had a blunt response for any critics out there. If people have a problem with what they've been doing and complaining about, and they can just come out here and better be playing playing better football, Davis said. Lions safety Kirby Joseph, who had yet another interception in Week 11 win over the Jags, shared the same sentiment. "We're just playing football," Joseph said, per Detroit Sports Podcast. "If you're not going to come ready to win, then you're going to get your ass whooped." This is absolutely nothing wrong with anything the Lions have done this season. This is the NFL, and if you don't come fully prepared against the best team in the league, expect to get embarrassed, plain and simple. Now, on top of this, the Detroit Lions only have one legitimate threat in the NFC, and the Detroit Lions, although they looked unstoppable on Sunday, and Jared Goff is averaging a stunning 14.2 yards per completion and finished with a perfect passer rating, the Detroit defenders and also defensive line surrendered just 10 first downs and 170 total yards. Yes, the Lions were feasting on the worst team in football, the Jacksonville Jaguars, but their 46-point margin of victory on Sunday was yet another statement to the NFL world.